bit. My way of escape was God kept sending this person to jail, and so even when he was sending him to jail, I kept on like sticking around and stuff like that. Turn it down. And so after a while, like when I just got fed up and just tired of this person, like I just never seen no growth in this person. Like the whole time we was together, just never seen no growth in this person. But like after I like got fed up and tried to leave, this person would not leave me alone.
Yeah.
You know, like I had a stalker on my hands. Like I moved on and was with somebody else or whatever. And this person would not leave me alone. This man was so toxic. I remember like he used to like, if somebody else looked at me or tried to talk to me, oh, you can have her. Like that's so abusive and like emotionally, like mentally an abusive person. Yeah. So we're not going to go all into detail of what this person did after I left the situation. People who know me know what happened afterwards. But, you know, I'm not going to acknowledge the devil. Because I really feel like that person is the devil. I'm not going to acknowledge the devil. Because I know he's going to be watching. So, devil, I'm not going to acknowledge you. So, you know, you gotta put the devil under your feet.
Yes.
At all times.
Absolutely.
You know, so
I agree. I do agree.
Moved on, married, got kids by someone else, you know. Very well. So we just we gotta put that, you know, in the air, in the atmosphere. So anyways, because that just stirs up a total different, you know, but anyways.
It's like, you know, God gives us these warnings, but we want to go and tiptoe on Satan's window. Yeah. And so God just releases one of his little, Satan just releases one of his little imps, you know. And that's how I felt in that relationship, that, you know, I was literally dating Satan's son because that's how bad it was, you know. You know, at the end of the relationship, I really never seen myself getting that deep into something so toxic. But at the end of the relationship, when I seen this man for the last time, I can truly say that he did not look like the man that I met. Yeah. He looked at totally different, and he looked at dark. What the Lord revealed to me in that last day of the relationship is who he really was. Yeah. You know, and what I was blinded to, what I allowed the enemy to blind me to, God showed me in the ending of the relationship of, this is who you really was dating. This is who he is. You know, all the narcissism and all the stuff that you went through, you know, this is who he really is. And God showed me, you know, who he was. And so, you know, we live and we learn. You know, a lot of women don't get out of these relationships. Some women stay in these toxic relationships because they feel that is love, and we've talked about that. You know, that's not love. You know, putting you down and you know, stalking you and doing witchcraft and black magic and all that stuff. Ain't none of that cute. That's not love. No. That is of the devil, and that's just a trick of the enemy to keep you bound into that relationship so you can't break free. But I'm glad that God that he, you know, he is a God that delivers. Yeah. He is a God that set free. He is a God that will reach down and pull you out of the muck and out of the miry clay. Just like you were saying, he will make a way of escape for you. And sometimes we don't want to take that escape because our flesh loves what our flesh loves. Yeah. You know, but I've learned that if I've gotten myself into this, you better take that way of escape. You know what I'm saying? Because you may not have that way of escape anymore. A lot of women stay, God gives them a way of escape, and they go right back and they end up dead. Or they end up in jail for killing or for snapping. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I thank God that, you know, it took a lot for him to, you know, push me through that door of way of escape. But I'm glad that, you know, he stood there and he was right there. Yeah. You know, and the Lord told me something. He said, you put yourself in there, I'm going to need you to bring yourself out. He said, I'm going to stand here and I'm going to be with you. But because of your hard-headedness, because you didn't listen to me, you're going to have to come to me now. Yeah. And that was one of the hardest things that I had to do. But it was encouraging me because I knew the Lord was there. You know, he was there for me and stuff. But he was letting me know, you know, you're putting yourself in this situation. I keep delivering you out. I keep delivering you out. I keep delivering you out. Listen, at some point in time, God's going to say, now you're going to have to get yourself out of this. I'm not going to leave you. I'm not going to forsake you. I'm going to be right here, but I'm going to need you to come walking to me. And so that situation, that was oh my God, that was one of the lessons learned of my life. Like when I say lesson learned. I after that, I've gotten into a relationship. I know as soon as I found out old boy was cheating, I was like, it's a wrap the same day. I blocked them. There was no communication, none of that. I didn't want to have them because I know my worth and I know what I bring to the table as a woman. You know what I'm saying? And so there's no need for that. Yeah. To me, there's no need for you to go and do what you want. If you want to go and do what you want to do, just leave me alone. You know, and so I'm just grateful for the people that were there. To pray me through, you know.
Yeah, and a lot of people I feel like don't know their worth. A lot of women, even me, like a lot of people just think, oh, women don't know their value, don't know their worth, but a lot of men don't either. You know, because there's a lot of good men. Yeah. You know, and it's a lot of good women, but women need to, because I just feel like a lot of people jump into relationships because of things they're trying to heal from, or things that they went through, and they're trying to like how people use alcohol and drugs to like numb pain. A lot of people get in relationships and use the thought of love as a numbing mechanism or whatever. But a lot of people that grew up and they didn't have a mom or didn't have a dad or their parents were abusive or anything like that, they go looking for love in all the wrong places. You know, and sometimes when you looking for love in all the wrong places, a bad man or a bad woman, they use that to their advantage. Yes, they do. And they'll take advantage, and then you thinking this person is a good person, and then there goes the abuse. There goes, you know. So at any time, I would feel like we ignore red flags because we want to be in a relationship. You know, people don't want to be lonely. People looking for love in all the wrong places. What is that? Bad company corrupts good character. Oh God, you know. What about the story in the Bible with Samson and Delilah? You know, so it's just like
all the signs were there.
Yeah, you really have to just pay attention. But like I said earlier, when you in the world and you know you doing your thing, that toxic stuff, that red flag stuff, it don't matter.
No, it doesn't. You said something that used to be a trigger for me because I'm one that. My mom died when I was 5, and my father, he just didn't claim me. He told me to my face that I didn't belong to him, and I looked dead on, you know. And so that right there alone, that stayed with me. It stuck with me throughout my lifetime, and I never healed. I leaned to other things, alcohol, drugs, and different things just to numb that moment that my father telling me that I didn't belong to him and me not understanding what happened to my mom, you know. And so I dealt with that thing all the way up into my 40s. I dealt with that. And that was something that was one of the things that caused me to get in these relationships. You know, as I was younger, I would never date a man that was young as my age or younger. It would always have to be somebody older. Why? And I always question myself, why is that, you know, I'm always, you know, wanting to be with somebody. I was looking for a father figure. You know, I didn't have that father. No, I didn't have anybody in my life to give me that father figure. And then I was trying to find somebody to fill that empty void that my father left. Yeah. You know, and so it caused me to get into relationships that just were not good for me at all, you know. And then just not having parents growing up, you know, not having that example, you know what I'm saying, growing up, you know, of seeing what I really should have been looking for, you know, what I really should have been doing, you know, I didn't have that. And so God had to heal me. He literally, and I think the healing started when about 46 years old. The healing started then when I was going through all of that stuff with my ex. I was going through all of that stuff, and the healing started after that. You know, God getting to the root of why I'm always attracting this. You know what I'm saying? I'm always attracting this kind of relationship. It be like self. Yeah, you know, so I have to really, he had to really just take me down, all the way down to my childhood. Yeah. You know, and it's like he took me on a journey and explain the why to me, the why that I've been asking all of my life that I could never get an answer to, you know, the whys that drew me to do things that I shouldn't have been doing, or the whys of, you know, that drew me into the arms of the wrong people, you know, the whys that drew me to accept the less than, you know. God began to walk me through the whys and begin to give me understanding, and he began to heal my heart from the hurt all the way from a little girl. From the time that my father said, you don't belong to me. You know, that stuck with me. But I buried it, you know, I numbed it throughout the years. I numbed that, you know. I numbed it with partying. I numbed it with drinking. I numbed it with hanging out with the homies in the hood. I numbed it by joining a motorcycle club. Girl, I numbed it any way that I could. I numbed it, you know. But it took that relationship to really, really, really bring me to my senses and to understand that I was hurt. I was broken. There was an empty void that I was trying to fill that couldn't nobody fill but God, you know. And I just had to come into realization, girl, you're better than this. You're better than this.
Because, like, I'm going to say it again, bad. I forgot what I said.
Bad character corrupts. Wait, bad
company corrupts good character. There we go. Almost forgot.
Yes.
But a lot of people just gotta like get to know themselves. That's what I tell a lot of young girls now, like that want to date and they feel like, oh, this person is the one, and you haven't even experienced life. Get to know yourself. Find out what you like, what you want to do. Find out, you know, who you are as a person. You know, a lot of us deal with unhealed trauma from things that happen to us. And so when we date, even when we get into friendships, we're getting into those relationships based off of who we are at that present time. That's why do you think when you grow and you start becoming a better person, those people no longer serve you? That's why. Because once you grow up and you start healing yourself and you start becoming a better you, those person for what that was with the broken you, they no longer serve you person. In this season, a lot of friends that I had do no longer serve me.
Oh my God, absolutely not.
And my cutoff game is strong.
Oh, when I tell you,
I don't have to explain to you why I cut you off at all. I don't. You know.
That is so true. I noticed that my circle now of people that I'm surrounded with is way smaller than what it used to be. You know, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being with myself. That was the problem. I wasn't okay with just being with me, you know, enjoying me, you know what I'm saying? But now I'm okay with just being with me and my children and just living life to the fullest and stuff like that. Before, I'm like, man, I'm bored. I need a friend on the side. You know what I'm saying? I need a little something on the side or whatever. But now, I don't want to. I just don't want to have to learn a person. I don't want to have to go through all of that stuff anymore. And that goes to say that I'm okay with just being with me. I'm okay with just being me and God, and and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I've heard people down the years talk about, oh, stop saying that you're okay with just Jesus. Well, it's true. It's true. You know, when it's okay for you just to be with you and God, that's the best lover you're going to ever have in your entire life. You know, but even if God do bring somebody into your life, you know what I'm saying? You still need to know how to enjoy you by yourself. When that person is going to work or whatever, you still need to learn how to enjoy you by yourself. And so God has taught me how to enjoy myself, to enjoy my children, and to really enjoy Him. You know, just enjoy Him. And I'm just at the point, I'm 50 now, I'm okay. I'm literally okay. Like,
and some people, a lot of people are just okay with, you know, enjoying life. But I feel like if God has somebody that he sees fit for you, He will send them your way, and you won't have to go through hell and back to be with them and to stay with them. Let's see. Bishop Beverly said a person's background plays a big part of the people we are attracted to. So how do you feel about that?
A person's background Like I said, I was attracted to a certain type.
Yeah. I think everybody has a type.
Yeah, I was attracted, and it seemed like that's all I attracted. I attracted broken.
Because you were broken.
I was broken. And so I attracted
you are what you broken. Attract.
There it is right there. So I attracted what I was.
Yeah.
You know, I was broken, of contract spirit, all of that. I was, you know, and so that's what I attracted.
You were looking for somebody to fill a void that you couldn't feel, and you couldn't find nothing else to fill. So,
yes,
relationships that you were attracted to filled that void for that time being.
Yes, yes.
Until you got healed from the things that you were dealing with.
Oh yes, and I'm so glad that God healed me from that trauma. I'm so glad that God finally healed the broken little girl that was on the inside.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was. I was a broken little girl, and I didn't have the answer to my why. You know, and when you're growing up broken and you don't have the answer to that, not only was I dealing with the loss of a father, I was also dealing with the loss of a mother.
Yeah.
I didn't have my mom. My mom died when I was 5, and so I was looking for love.
So did you feel alone?
I did. Yeah,
so did you suffer with any kind of like abandonment issues?
I did.
Okay.
I did. And that was one of the reasons why I couldn't really be in a good relationship, because I didn't want to, I felt that if you was going to go somewhere, I felt that you weren't going to never come back.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So you were kind of like clingy in an aspect.
Yeah, in a way I was clingy. I was clingy but classy. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
I was clingy but classy, you know. I wouldn't too much say, you know, let you know how I felt, but that's how I felt, you know. If you was to walk out of that door, if you told me that you're going to be right back, I felt that you weren't going to come back. Or I felt that you were going to be, most part was, what you was about to go be with somebody else, you know. And that's what it was, you know. And so I dealt with that in the relationships that I've been in, you know, and it's just... that was a place that I needed healing. I needed healing, a lot of healing in that place. You know, so I did suffer from abandonment issues because of that situation. I couldn't identify it then, but eventually as God began to heal my heart and begin to heal me in that area, he began to open me up to why I was like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys hear the types of relationships. So far we're on the opposite sex relationship between a man and a woman. So if you are watching and you've heard from the beginning, you know, what we were talking about, and if you've ever been in a toxic relationship, in the comment type I.
Yeah.
So we want a lot of people to know, like, they're not alone, because some people are ashamed and embarrassed.
I was.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are ashamed to talk about it. They're embarrassed. A lot of people don't. You ever notice? Like, I notice sometimes, like, a lot of people never heal the hurt from childhood trauma or like just life in general. Because, you know, sometimes people get in a relationship and that one broken heart goes until they die. They never get over it.
Never get over it. Or what about the ones that are traumatized or have childhood trauma and they marry? And they get into these relationships and they end up breaking the person that they're in the marriage with.
Yeah, that right there that's why I say too, like, you need to know a person before you get into a relationship with a person, before you marry a person, before you engage, have kids. You need to know a person and know their background. And that's what I feel like Bishop Beverly was saying too, like a person's background. You need to know that person's background, because people that's suffering from stuff internally, or people can be bipolar, schizophrenic, and you don't even know, but you want to be in a relationship so bad, you get with these people and they knocking your head off, knocking your block off, and people be dying from stuff like that.
They do. They don't take the time to, oh God, this now today, it's a rush job. Nobody takes the time out to really, you know, learn a person, like you were saying. And it's so scary to even try to enter into a relationship these days. You don't know if you ain't in God the way you're supposed to be. honey, you'll be dating a dog in a human body. You know what I'm saying? It's that type of situation. You just don't know what you're going to get. You know? And so it's really important that you seek the Lord about who you are interested in. You know, the Bible talks about, you know, trust in the Lord, lean not to your understanding. Trust in the Lord, lean not to your understanding. But in all of your ways, acknowledge him that he may direct your path. And that goes with even dating. If you have an interest in somebody, consult the Lord about that person. Because one thing about God is he will reveal what you need to know. You know, it's up to us to receive what he's giving us. It's up to us to receive what he's saying. You know, I've heard people say, you know, Lord, show me a sign. The Lord showed them a sign. And then, that ain't God. Yes. That ain't the Lord speaking or whatever, you know. But, you know, take heed to the warning signs. Take heed to what the Lord is telling you because he's protecting you. He is the protector of his children. So it's important that we just listen to what the Lord is saying. And sometimes that man can be fine is all outdoors, you know. And the straight devil. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Yeah, and people got to understand that everything that comes their way ain't sent from God. You know, people be like, oh, God sent me this man. God didn't send you that man.
You wouldn't found him.
Yeah, God did not send you that man that you found off POS, Black Planet, Facebook, he did Tinder. God did not send you that man.
Date that.
At all. So, you know, a lot of people don't want to take the time to pray and say, hey, God, is this man for me? Does this man align with the will that you have for my life? Does this man align with the purpose and the calling that you have for my life? A lot of people think that's too much. God take too long to answer. I need this man right now.
And not only that, we need to stop and ask God, are we ready? Lord, am I ready for a relationship? Is my mind ready for a relationship? Is my heart ready for a relationship? God, am I stable enough to be able to go in covenant with a person? Because we're not just, us women, we don't just date just to be dating. We date with purpose.
Yeah, we date for, we think that we plan, 3 months in, we planning a wedding.
We already got married. We done got the color of the dress, the color of the decoration, because we date with purpose.
We done got the invitation.
Yeah, we know who coming and who ain't.
We done named the kids that we even had.
We invited Keith Sweat and everybody else to our wedding.
Oh my God.
He's not even the one. You know, and we're not.
And he done wasted 10 years of our life.
Oh Lord. Jesus, I'm so glad the Lord didn't allow me to waste that much time. 2.5 years was enough time wasted. But we need to begin to ask God, Lord, where am I spiritually, mentally, physically? Am I ready to come in covenant with another person? Am I in the place where you want me to be able to receive what you have for me? Because one, we're not, as women, we're not supposed to go out and look. We're supposed to be found. The Bible said, he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtaineth favor in the Lord. And so we have to be in a place where we can be found. Found with a sound mind, found with a sound heart, found mentally and physically stable. You know what I'm saying? Spiritually stable. You know, and so I've learned now I don't want to be in a relationship or I don't want to receive something I'm not ready for. And so, you know, we have to ask God, Lord, am I ready for this? Am I not, and not only me, but is my children ready? You know, is everything the way that it's supposed to be for when you send my Boaz or when you send my David or when you send my king or whoever it's going to be, am I ready to receive? Because we're coming in covenant, and when we're coming in covenant, we also have to cover that man. You understand what I'm saying? We become a covering. We're women and we're mothers, and so we nurture. You know, spiritually, we have to be there to be able to nurture. We have to make sure that, you know, we're the backbone that holds them up. You know, and so we have to ask God, am I ready? Because when you get into that, girl, you can't just say, I don't want to be in it no more. I know people do that.
And men gotta stop. Men gotta stop asking for a Proverbs woman.
Please stop.
And y'all not an Acts man. Is that it? Is that it?
Please stop.
The book of Acts? Is that
it's
it?
The whole Bible, man.
Y'all not them. Stop asking for a Proverbs woman. Because y'all, ain't even what the Bible said. I'm not even like downing the men or whatever. I'm just saying
it's women too.
Yeah, but some men that I've come in contact with, like y'all asking for too much. Y'all asking for this type of woman, that type of woman, and you're not even that type of man for us women to give you that. Yeah. A woman wants to be led. I don't care about the providing part. A woman wants to be led. If you can't lead me, and I can have confidence that you leading me where I need to go, I'm not letting you lead, and I'm not being submissive. So let's just hold up right there, because y'all be asking for so much of a woman, acting like we superwoman because your mama was superwoman. Just because your mama went through the trenches and she did this, that, and the other, and she worked 5 jobs and she had 30 kids and was a single mom, that's not me. That's not me. God ain't gave me that much strength. Like, no. Being serious. Like, y'all gotta stop putting so much stipulation and pressure on us women. Because at the end of the day, women, we go through a lot mentally already. I know men do too. But if we have kids by somebody, who take the kids if the man leave? Do the man pack the kids up and take them?
Sure, they leave the kids.
And guess what? That still ties in with relationship.
Yeah, it does.
You know? So at the end of the day, I just feel like if you want a certain type of biblical Proverbs woman and you want a Ruth, you need to be a Boaz.
Yeah, just be where you need to be in God, you know. Yeah, stop looking beyond your means.
Yeah. Yes.
Stop looking beyond your means, you know. And just ask God, Lord, send the woman that is for me.
Yeah.
Somebody that's going to help me build. Somebody that's going to help me remain strong.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm weak, I can find my strength in her. You know, look for that type of stuff. Look for the spiritual qualities, and you know, make sure that you know she's going to be that woman. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That no matter if you're up, no matter if you're down, you know, you can count on her.
Yeah.
To be that backbone for you. And the same thing goes with women. Stop looking for a Boaz and you ain't out there in the field.
Yeah, stop looking for somebody that's going to provide and take care. Like, I want to provide. Yeah, we want to provide her, but we don't want somebody that, because a lot of women, and we gonna put it out there, a lot of y'all women are gold diggers. And a lot of y'all women, y'all want all this money. Yes, y'all want a sugar daddy. Go get a sugar daddy. You can't have a sugar daddy and a husband, so pick your struggle. Which one you want?
Pick a struggle.
Because the thing about a good man, God will give y'all the means to build each other up. Yes, you know, you will build each other up, and then there's your provider, there's your leader. You know what I'm saying? Like now you have somebody that's in God, y'all equally yoked.
Yes.
You have somebody that's in God that can lead you.
Yeah.
You know, that can provide for you. I want more provision than just financially. Provide for me mentally. Provide for me emotionally.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. It goes way beyond financial. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we like money, but I can make my own money. I'm just saying, you know. Yeah. Anybody know me? Know I'm always have some money.
All the way around.
So, provide for me mentally, spiritually, emotionally. If you can't pray with me, you ain't the man for me.
If you cannot lead.
Yeah.
If you cannot lead. That's what you said something there. We are looking for someone that's going to lead us. You know, and so that's definitely what I look for. You know, I dated a guy years ago, and he was a good guy, but he just wasn't the guy for me.
Yeah.
You know,
so somebody else.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was a great guy.
Yeah.
You know, nice. You know what I'm saying, and everything. But he just wasn't who God had for me. Mm-hmm. You know, but he taught me a lot of things about a man being the one to lead the woman. You know, he taught me a lot of things to what to look for in a man, and different things like that. For the life of me, I don't know why that flew and didn't catch on when I got to that toxic relationship. But you know, he taught me a lot of things that what a man and who a man should be in a relationship. You know, but he just wasn't for me. You know, I was like, God, why? But God knows. He knows what's best.
Yeah.
You know? But we just have to make sure men and women, You know, if you're looking for a mate, if you're looking for someone to be by your side, if you're looking for a wife, if you're looking for a husband, make sure that the work that needs to be done on you is done.
Yeah.
Because what you don't want to do is enter into a relationship broken. You don't want to enter into a relationship bleeding.
Ruining somebody else.
Yeah, and then you're going to bleed over to that person that you come into covenant with. And then you guys are just going to start clashing. You know, stop marrying people to sow your royal oats because you want to scratch an itch, and when you're done, you toss them to the side like a dirty rag.
Yeah.
Stop doing that, because what you're doing is you are producing broken people.
And you will be held accountable.
Yeah, and you're going to be held accountable for that. If you are broken, if you are dealing with childhood trauma, if you are dealing with sexuality, how do you say it? Identity crisis. You need not to get into a relationship with nobody until you are completely healed, until you allow God to heal you in those areas. Because when you get into a relationship, when you come into covenant with people like that and you bleed on them, then you are producing brokenness into that relationship. And now you're leaving this person broken. You go off and you leave them and you're looking for the next. That's not the will of God, you know. And so you have to be responsible of your actions. You need to be responsible of the things that you do. You know what I'm saying? Heal first. You know, heal what's broken. Heal the little woman. Heal the little man that's broken down on the inside of you. The toxicity that you have down on the inside of that. Ask God to remove that. You know, if you are looking for success in relationship, you have to start with yourself first.
Yeah.
You have to. You definitely do.
Okay, so now that y'all heard that about relationships and the toxicness in relationships and what people deal with when they're dealing with abandonment issues, childhood trauma, any aspect of a relationship. So let's break it down real quick and talk about friendships.
Yeah.
What about friendships? Like, do you hold the same standards when it comes to friends?
When it comes to friends, I don't call everybody friend.
Yeah.
I don't. I've learned my lesson on calling everybody my friend.
Yeah.
I've learned my lesson on calling everybody sis and calling everybody my brother and stuff like. I've learned my lesson because everybody don't know and understand the true definition of what friend means. You know, being there for one another, and you know, when I'm down, I can call on you and I can count on you, you know, that you're not going to switch up on me. Yeah. You're not going to, you know, be this way. You ain't going to be two-faced it. You know, I'm going to need you to be like Jesus, be the same today, yesterday, and forevermore. If anything's going to change, let it change for the better. Yeah. And not for the worse. And so that's what I look for in a friendship. And God has blessed me with good friends, you know, people that I can call on, people that I can, you know, and I'm going to tell you, my circle is really small. It's really small now. But I hold standards up to when I call someone a friend. Yeah. You know, because being a friend is almost like being my family. And, you know, I expect the way I treat you is the way that I expect to be treated. You understand what I'm saying? And anybody that knows me, I'm a cool person. Y'all ain't gonna never really see me unless you mess with my kids. That's if you mess with my kids, you're gonna see a side of me, you know. Yeah. But I'm really, you know, I'm a lovable person. I love everybody. You know, I try to get along with everybody, but by me being like that, I've been ran over so many times. By people that I call friends. Yeah. You know, people that I thought that would be there for me. And so now I have to also remind myself, like, do you really understand the definition of what a friend is supposed to be to you?
A lot of people don't.
You know, and so a friend is somebody that sticks closer than they stick close to you no matter what. You know, so yeah, I hold standards up to someone that I call my friend. I won't particularly say the same standards as a person that I'm in a relationship, like, you know, a relationship like that with a man, not them kind of standards, because that's a different kind of thing that's going on there. But as far as friendship, I expect you to be the friend that I am to you, you know, and stuff like that. I expect that if I need to call you in the midnight hours, I need to know that you're going to pick up. Mm-hmm. I need to know that you ain't going to ask any questions, that you're just going to start praying. Mm-hmm. You know, I need to know that if I don't have the words to say, you don't have to have the words to say, but you just there for me, you know. And so I do have standards. I do have standards.
Yeah.
I do.
Same. Like, I don't ask for much from no friend. As long as you loyal, genuine, you ain't two-faced, they gonna back, you cool. But all my friends, it's been 10 plus years. Shout out to Sienna, shout out to Jasmine.
Oh, yeah, you've been
for real. Because I know I call on y'all and y'all gonna come running. Yeah. I remember Sienna came to me, she had her kids' shoes on the wrong feet. The son didn't even have no shoes on, but they came. Shout out to y'all. Yeah. I can sit on the phone with Jasmine for hours.
Yeah. And that's how me and Melinda and Shami, Prophetess Leah and Evangelist Bridges, we've been rocking together for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And they are two that I call, they're more than a friend. Mm-hmm. They're my sisters. Yeah. You know, and they were there when I just, Prophetess Lee, oh God, she has been there for me in the darkest time. And rest in heaven, my nephew, Minister Lee, they were there. You know, when I was going through the toughest and the darkest time. And, you know, she never talked about me. She never put me down. Yeah. She never made me feel less than. She prayed. That when I tell you that girl prayed, Prophetess Lee prayed.
Shout out to you, Prophetess Lee and Melinda.
Yeah, those two right there, I can tell you that they are more than friends to me. Yeah. You know,
they turn into family.
Yeah,
they not even considered friends. Yeah, like they turn into family.
And that's what friendship does. Yeah. That's what real friendship does. It turns into real, true, genuine family. Mm-hmm. You know, and so I thank God for those two women. For being there. You know, I can call them in the midnight hour and I can tell you they gonna pick up. Yeah. They will pick up, you know, and stuff like that. And so, yeah, God will give you godly relationships, godly friendships with different people to help you in your journey. Mm-hmm. They help me in my journey. They hold me accountable. Yeah. And that's what you need. Yeah. I need friends that's going to hold me accountable to be the woman of God that God has called me to be. Yeah. You know, I don't need nobody to pity pat me. I don't need nobody to wallow with me in my mess. I don't need nobody that's going to, you know what I'm saying, that's going to just, you know, oh, you're going to be okay. No, I need somebody that's going to tell me what thus saith the Lord God. Yeah. That's what I need, and that's what Prophetess Lee and Melinda is to me. And so friendship, like you said, it turns into family. Yeah. It does.
If I can't come to your house and lay in your bed, we not friends.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I know we real friends.
Evangelist Bridges beyond the perfume and everything else. Yeah. But that's my family. You know, everybody don't get that. Yeah. Everybody don't get the privilege of doing that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, everybody don't get the privilege because I don't know. I know their spirits. Yeah. The Bible says, try the spirit by the spirit to see if they are of God. Mm-hmm. You know, everybody, you got to try them spirits. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody is not from God. You have people, the monitoring spirits. Mm-hmm. You have people that are planted by the enemy to try to knock you off your rocker. And that's why the word of God tells us, try the spirit by the spirit to see if they are of God. Some of y'all are in relationships and in friendships, and you guys are going through because you are connected to something that is not of God. And God is telling you to get out of that covenant or friendship, get out of that relationship with that person because they are not for me. You're going through, you're sick, you keep getting headaches, all kinds. You wonder why you feeling down and you feeling depressed because who you're connected to. Mm-hmm. You're connected to the wrong thing. You're connected to the wrong people. Yep. You understand what I'm saying?
And a lot of friends, they come just to be jealous, to be envious, to be weird. A lot. I don't came in contact with just females in general. Like they'll be like, "Well, how do you forgive that man, but you can't forgive your friend?" That's the one question that rubs me the wrong way because I hold friends to a different standard than I hold a man. So we just gonna put that out there. If I call you a friend, your standard that I hold for you is different than any men. Absolutely. Men come and go. I cherish my friends for a lifetime. Yeah. So absolutely. You know, but a lot of so-called friends, they come just to be jealous, just to be haters. I done been hated on my whole life. Yeah. So it's hard to get in my friend group. Yeah. You know, you gotta do an application. You gotta do a trial run. It's hard to get in my friend group.
Jesus.
So you
know that application.
If I call you a friend,
approved.
No, for real.
Hope you get approved.
Your application has been declined.
Right. You know. you gotta go to HR and all of that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's just, you know, it's hard to come by good friendship these days. But we are also to continue to show ourselves friendly, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? We are to show ourselves friendly, no matter how people may treat us or whatever. You know, they're gonna treat us wrong. You know, we're gonna get that. You know, I learned my lesson. I'm still gonna love you. You know what I'm saying? I'm still gonna, you know, I'm still gonna be cordial with you. But what I'm not gonna do is put myself out there to be hurt again.
Yeah, you only gotta show me one time and I believe you. You ain't gotta show me twice. You ain't gotta show me 3 times. You show me who you are once and I believe you. Yeah. You ain't gotta show me no more.
Yeah, I wasn't like that. You know, I would give people a chance after chance.
No.
You know, because, you know, that's just the type of person that I'm you know, I'm gonna give this person a chance. Oh, you know, I've been there, you know, and then I look at how Jesus gave us chance after chance after chance after chance. And so I tried to model what Christ did. But after a while, Jesus got tired of them folks.
Because sometimes you gotta use some wisdom with people.
You do.
Because you know, people, you be trying to give people chances and they just, they gave me another chance. Let me see how I can get them again.
But Jesus called them out. He called them vipers. Yeah. Did he not? He said, you Pharisees and you Sadducees, you guys are vipers. That's what you guys are. Yeah. You know, and so you have to be careful of the vipers that are sent out by the enemy to kill your character, to kill to come and kill what God has placed down on the inside of you. Yep. You know, and so you just we hold friendship up to a standard.
We do. Every relationship should have a standard, an expectation. Not high, but just to your liking. You know, to your liking. Because some people, they hold their expectation way up here and they be wanting people to climb a ladder to reach them, you know? Yeah. So you just have to be mindful of who you're dealing with.
That's right.
Every expectation has to go back to who you're dealing with. Everybody is not the same, so everybody can't have the same expectation.
So true.
You know?
So true.
So.
Yeah, you'll learn a lot, you know, dealing with people. You'll learn a lot, you know, and God will give you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on how to deal with different ones and stuff like that. And so everybody's not going to understand it, and you just have to be okay with that, you know.
Yeah.
But,
So now we talked about relationships with the opposite sex. We talked about friendships. So now the last thing before we get out of y'all's way, church relationships. Let's talk about relationships in the church.
Glory.
The type of relationships that you form in the church, how they are, how they affect you, and let's talk about it. So you go first, ma'am.
God, when it comes to that, I have expectations. When it comes to church relationships,
now they get held to a different standard.
Yeah, you know, because we're all walking this same walk. We're all serving the same God. We're all supposed to obey the same word of God that we're reading. And so I hold them to a higher esteem. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if I'm wrong for that, but I do. Because Paul says, follow me as I follow Christ. So we're supposed to be what Christ-like, you know. Yeah. Our character is supposed to be like Christ. Our conversation, our actions, our ways, you know, it's supposed to be like Christ. And so I try to really, really make sure that my character speaks that, you know. Yeah. Even when I was in the world, I always tried to remain cool with people, you know, because I just wanted that back. You know, I'm cool. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just a cool person or whatever. And so I held the church people to a higher expectation than I would a relationship with a man or even friendship, because now we're talking about something spiritual. Now this is a spiritual connection that we're speaking about now. Yeah. And so, you know, what I'm looking for in that person is God. I'm looking for the character of God. Yeah. I'm looking for the language of God. I'm looking for the love of God. That's what I'm looking for in a person that I'm going to church with, or, you know, you may be a leader, or whatever the case, you may be a lay member, you know, so a bench member or whatever. But I still hold you to that expectation if you are saying that you are of God. Now, there's many people that go to church now. You know, you got the saved and sanctified. Then you got the cranktified, and then you got the ones that's just going to church.
They're just there. They just there.
You know, but the ones that say that they're saved and that they're filled with the Holy Ghost, that with a mighty burning fire by the evidence of speaking in tongues, I hold you to a higher standard, because now you're telling me that I am of God, I am of Christ, and everything that I do, I may make mistakes, but I still try to walk by the rules and the laws of God.
Yeah.
Right? And so, if I see, or if you do something, and I know it's wrong, and you know it's wrong, because you got people that'll do that. You know what you did was wrong. You know what you said was wrong. I hold you to a higher standard. I expect you to come and do as the Word of God says. If I wronged you, if I said something that will hurt your that has hurt your feelings, anybody that knows me will tell you, I will come and get that thing right.
Yeah.
Because one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to be the person to make somebody look at God the wrong way. Yeah, or give somebody a bad taste in their mouth concerning God.
Yeah.
You know, and so I hold them, the people of God, the saints of God, I hold them to a higher expectation, because we are the ones that are carrying the light of God.
Yep.
You know, we are the beacon lights, you know, and so I do, especially if you're a leader.
Yeah. And a lot of times I feel like the church people, they always think they right. They always think they can say anything they want to say, and always think they right. I ain't got nothing against the church people or nothing like that, but a lot of the times they be loud and wrong.
Yeah.
And don't tell me about my grass being not green and yours brown. You know, they always want to
ready to wither.
Criticize. No, for real. Criticize. A lot of the church is judgmental. They criticize too heavily. Whatever. Y'all get what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm saying. And so church people, I feel like church people hurt people the most.
Oh God, yes.
Like, we expect that from the people in the world. But we go to the church as a safe house.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Yeah. We go to the church when we on our last leg. When everything else we done tried ain't working. So we go to the church thinking that we gonna get some relief. Yeah. And no. It don't be that. I remember somebody called me a prostitute in front of the whole congregation.
Oh, did the Lord hold your tongue?
Oh, my mama, he did. Oh, my mama, he did. Call me a straight prostitute.
Yeah, but where do you get off as a saint of God talking to anyone like that?
And why would you address me like that because I have a nice car, because I got this, I got that, just because I have my own money and my own stuff, I'm a prostitute? Like, come on now. I done been called everything, but I done been called Delilah. I done been called all type of stuff by the church members.
Yeah.
And that didn't even take the time to get to know me. Just assumed that that's who I was or that's what I was. But yeah, it was like altar call or something, and they called themselves prophesying and stuff, and basically they called me a prostitute in front of everybody, and then I was like, I do not receive that.
And that's what you should have done.
I do not receive that, because that's when I was back in the world days. Like, man, you better fall in now.
Yeah.
Like, that's lying. That's when I was like, now I'm ready to fight. Now, you know, that's when I was back in that type of day. Like, now we gotta fight. Yeah. Like, I got somebody for you because you're a man. I got somebody for you. You know? So.
But as a saint of God, where do we get off talking to people like that? Because even those words are not of God.
No.
You know, God says, the Bible says, by loving kindness have I drawn thee. You know, and the Lord, yes, he chastises those whom he loves. But God is not going to belittle you. He's not going to sit up here and make you feel less than or talk about you like you're just some slum on the street. That is not of God. No. And so we hear a lot of this stuff going on in the pulpit, and nobody is correcting it. Nobody is addressing it. We got all kind of, girl, when I tell you that there's so much strange fire being offered up in the pulpits today. And nobody's addressing it. Let me back up, because there are people that are addressing it, but when I say there's nobody addressing, I'm talking about people with a big platform.
Yeah.
You're allowing this stuff to slide. You're allowing this stuff to happen. You're allowing people to come in and prophesy to your people, and leave them in a broken state. If you wasn't strong-minded like that, there's no telling how you would have left out of that.
No, for real.
What if you weren't strong-minded the way you were, and you accepted the very words that person spewed out to you? Mm-hmm. Us as people of God, and even as prophets of God, and pastors and leaders, we got to be careful on what we say and what we speak over people's lives. We're going to be held accountable.
Yeah, and you got to use more wisdom.
Yes, God.
You have to use more wisdom.
And stop saying something that God didn't say.
Yeah. You felt like that, so that's what you said. Yeah. It was not, the Spirit told me. No, you felt like that, and that's what you said. That was your own personal feeling. You know what I'm saying? So absolutely. That's why people go off of personal feelings instead of what God really said. That's how you know. He showed up, and God know, and God would never tell nobody to say that. It's always a time and a place for everything, and God ain't gonna do that. God got a way of doing things. How I go, and I like the way He do it, and it wasn't like that.
He told them men that came and brought Mary Magdalene unto Him. He said, "He without sin cast the first stone."
No, for real.
He said, "He without sin cast the first stone." He didn't call her no harlot. He didn't call her no prostitute. He didn't call her none of that. He told everybody that had a stone in their hand, "He without sin cast the first stone."
Yeah, but that's because people want to be seen. Oh, you want to be seen. Yeah, they want to be seen. So, I'm about to prophesy. I'm about to say this. I'm about to say that because I want to be seen. It's a church full of people. You want to be seen. Just say that. Just say you want to be seen. And we're going to see you. But now, I just be looking at all the people that really tried to downplay me. Back then, when I was in the world, I look at everybody that tried to talk down on me, talk about me, say I was this, say I was that. And I look at where they are now. Yeah. Now, where are you now? Just think about that. Look in the mirror and remember me and tell me where you at now. Because I know where you at now. But,
I pray for them, that God will give them the mind to want correction. That God will give them the mind to see things in the right way and to talk to people in the right way. We just gotta learn how to talk to people, how to address people. Especially if we're in ministry, we just gotta know better, and we gotta do better. Yeah, we just gotta do better.
Too many people are comfortable. Yeah,
way comfortable.
Too many people are just comfortable.
Way comfortable.
So a lot of people, they try to build relationships in the church, but I feel like relationships in the church, not for everybody, but for a few people, they're not long-lasting relationships. You notice churches have the biggest turnover rate. Like if you at a job and you hiring, a lot of people leave. Yeah. Yeah. I don't consider the people that leave because they just don't want to be held accountable. They don't want to change. They don't want to do better. But a lot of the leaders have to do better too.
Oh God, when I tell you, leadership is going to be held accountable. Everybody that's in leadership has not been called to lead. Yeah. And if you have not been called to lead, you will do a lot of damage. Yeah. You will do a lot. I've seen a lot of damage done by leadership, by those that have been led and those that have not been led. And so leadership, we will be held accountable for how we treat God's people, how we shepherd the people of God. We are accountable for those souls. Yeah. And so now God is having us, He's holding us accountable and holding us to a higher standard now, to where, I got you over my people. I need you to treat my people the way I treat my people. I need you to love my people the way I love my people. I need you to teach my people the way I teach them. Not the way your flesh wants to. Not the way you're feeling it. You may come in with a bad attitude because somebody that said something wrong to you at the store and come and lash out to my people. That's not what I want. Yeah. You have to be spirit-led. You have to have a relationship with God. Yeah. in order to lead his people into the pasture of him. Mm-hmm. You have to have a relationship. You got to have the wisdom. You got to have the knowledge and the understanding of who God is and how he operates to lead his people. And so, yeah, leadership, y'all in trouble. A lot of y'all leaders are in trouble.
Yeah.
A lot of y'all leaders are in trouble for a lot of things that are not of God, and he's going to hold you accountable for it. And I thank God for my leader. A shout out to Apostle Bridgeforth there in Georgia. When I tell you, she don't play. My apostle do not play. Somebody tag her for me. She don't play. She don't. If I'm wrong, she gonna let me know. I love you with the love of the Lord, but you wrong. Mm-hmm. You need to get this together. When I was in my mess, she told me. She said, God said, and this is before I even came up under. She said, God said you're sleeping with the enemy, and I was in that toxic relationship, and I was going through. And it was, I think this was maybe the second or third time I had even met her, and I had went to my brother's service, and she was speaking. And I had went there this particular Sunday, and when I tell you the power of God was all over her, and she stopped in the middle of her message. She looked at me and she said, Pastor Valika, she said, God said you're sleeping with the enemy.
Yep.
And she told me some other things, and I was like, man, people don't do that these days. People don't call you out of your sin. They don't call you in your, they don't do that no more. They allow you to wallow in it. Oh, you with the, oh, it'll be all right. No, I need somebody that's going to call me out in my sin. And that's what she did, you know, and God placed me up under her, and I've been up under her for almost about 4 to 5 years now. You know, when I was wrong, she corrected me. Yep. You know, but she's always been there for me. And so shout out to my apostle, Teresa Bridgeforth. I love her dearly. She's always been a big support to me and my family. She's one of the reasons why I'm back in California, you know, and that's a whole nother testimony. But get yourself a leader that's going to hold you accountable for the life that you say that you're living for God.
Overseer Ferguson said that's the key, a relationship with God. Trinetta said you know them by their fruits.
Yes.
Melinda said some people don't have fear no more. We just talked about that too.
Yeah. A lot of people don't fear God no more, you know, but that is the key. A relationship with God. A relationship with God first will guide you into the direction that was meant for you, into the path that was meant for you, into the alignment and the purpose that was meant for you.
Yes.
So the key is a relationship with God first. Yes. That's why it says put God first in everything that you do.
Yes, God.
So you notice that when you don't put God first, everything goes everything go crazy.
It does. It really, really does. You know, you just gotta put him first, and you just gotta trust in him and lean not to your own understanding. I live and I walk by that scripture. That is one of my favorite scriptures. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not to thine own understanding. In all of thy ways, acknowledge him that he may direct your path. He was giving us instructions in there. Just simple, plain instructions. Don't lean to your understanding.
Yeah.
Trust in me, you know, and I'll direct you in the way that you
should. We leaned into our own understanding and went
all the time.
Went nowhere.
Like the children of Israel.
Yeah.
Every time. You know, they lean to their own understanding. They venture off to God. But God's grace and his mercy.
Yeah.
His grace. He said, it's more than enough for us, you know. And so a lot of people don't realize that grace runs out. It runs out. You know? And a lot of people are treading on thin ice. I'm so glad that the ice didn't crack when I was on it. I'm so glad.
Girl, now take you under.
I'm so glad that the ice didn't crack when I was treading on it. I'm very glad about that. Yeah. And so, you know, it's just, you know, get into that relationship and just trust God with whatever, you know, you have, whatever you desire a relationship. Whether if it's just friendship, a relationship, with purpose of dating. Now, I'm not telling you just to go out there and date. No, ask God to lead you to the person.
Yeah, because we didn't talk about this, and maybe we'll talk about it next time because we out of time, and we don't want to hold y'all up no more. We out of time. But we didn't talk about soul ties. Ooh. When you get into relationships,
Episode 4.
Soul ties. What keeps you stuck? What keeps you there? Them demonic spirits, them demonic forces.
My God.
That is a soul tie that keeps you stuck.
Yes.
So,
we definitely would touch on that one.
Yeah, we definitely got to touch on that because them soul ties is crazy.
They're no joke.
They really are. And when you praying and you trying to break those spirits and stuff, but they done attached to you, man.
Yeah, but the thing about it is people don't understand when those soul ties have been attached to other soul ties.
Yeah.
And them soul ties have been attached to other soul ties. And so when you come into that with that person, you got all of that stuff. And
then they're wondering why you depressed. You wondering why you depressed. You thinking about suicide.
You
can't leave the relationship. This man got a hold on you. This woman got a hold on you. You dealing with everything from 10 years ago that they done attached themselves to. Now they done attached it to you.
Yeah, that's years and years and years of soul ties. Like that one song, I don't know who sung that song. You really got a hold on me. No, that's them soul ties.
Yeah,
that got a hold on you. That's them soul ties. That's what that is.
Yeah,
you know?
They be heavy.
Yeah, but we need to teach our people that you're just because you come into this relationship with that one person, and we will talk about this our next episode. That person before you was with somebody else, and they haven't been delivered.
Yeah.
And the person that they were with was covenant with somebody else, and they weren't delivered. And so now you got all of this stuff just piled up, and now you're dealing with it. So I think we should definitely talk about that.
Yeah.
The soul ties. Definitely talk about that.
And we are out of time, guys. We are definitely out of time. But I do want to let you guys know the reason we started Hey Church Girls because I saw the need for a space where women of faith can have real raw conversations from the church that we don't always get to talk about. Whether it's church or real life, it's about struggles, doubts, silent battles that you feel like you can't talk to nobody else about. Here, nothing is off the table. This is a table where faith meets real life. This is where we can laugh, cry, be honest, uplift one another. This is more than a podcast. This is a sisterhood. Now, everybody that's here, you're a part of our sisterhood. Yes. So we're glad you came. And for now, goodbye, church girls.
Oh.